All right, Lux Ashe Control. I'm excited to get back to this one. This is one that felt really sweet last time we played it. Lux is one of my favorite champions in Runeterra, I think. So 4-5 for 6 with a barrier, so she frequently lives the turn you play her. So you get a good chance to untap and get some mana to get her going. So when you cast 6 plus mana worth of spells, she levels up and creates a Final Spark for you. Final Spark is a free spell that deals 4 damage to an enemy, and the spell has Overwhelm, so if you blast through something that has less than 4 life, you're going to deal some extra damage to their Nexus. Her leveled up mode's a little bit bigger, and then every time you cast 6 plus mana worth of spells again, she makes another Final Spark for you. Her champion spell is also fairly playable as a 3 mana barrier, which is nice. Quarthian, thanks to the 24 months, and Milbot, thanks to the 22. And then we also have here Ashe. So Ashe is a 5-3 for 4. Then when she attacks, she frostbites the strongest opposing enemy. Frostbite sets his power to 0. When you frostbitten 5 plus enemies, you level her up, and she creates a crystal arrow on top of your deck, which frostbites most of their stuff. And then leveled Ashe makes it so 0 power things can't block. So this deck is probably one of the best decks at leveling Ashe that I've played. We're playing 6 Harsh Winds, because not only does it work with Lux, but it also gives you 2 Frostbites towards leveling Ashe. We've got 3 Brittle Steel. We've got some Ice Veil Archers. We've got some Flash Freezes. So we've got a lot of ways to get Ashe leveled up very quickly. Then we've got some Rime Wolves in here as well. Challenger units are good as removal, and notably this is if you strike a unit with 0 power, kill it. So Rime Wolf paired with any of our Frostbite effects lets us pick off our opponent's threats. And then something that's notable here is we've got 3 copies of Babbling, Babbling, whatever this word is, in our deck. And when we're summoned, draw a unit with 5 plus power. So unless we've leveled up Lux, Ashe is actually our only 5 plus power unit in the deck. So Babbling here is always going to draw us a champion, and it's always going to draw us Ashe unless we've already leveled Lux. So let's go ahead and pop on into some games on the ladder here at this one and see how it goes. Opponent is playing Misfortune Lucian. I think I'm going to mulligan the Flash Freeze and look for some actual move. I think I'm going to keep the Brittle Steel, the Archer, and the Ashe, though. Remembrance would also be a decent pickup. Notable Ice Veil Archer is not great against Misfortune, because Misfortune, when their things attack, she deals the damage to everything. Oh. Yeah, I knew that was how that worked, right? Obviously should have frostbitten this. Messed that up. So this gives the supported ally +1/+1, which overrides the frostbite. Somewhere in my head I knew that. I only have 3 mana. I'm actually going to play the Investigator out here and then attack. It could also be right to just bank spell mana this turn. Hey, Farsight, thanks for the 19 months. And Boston, thanks for the generous tier 2.
Grog if you work, run if you don't. Put an end to magic.
I guess we'll trade these here. I don't really want to trade this for the 1/1. This can hold the 2/3 at bay. Loving the Runeterra content. I really appreciate that feedback. Good to have you here. I've been enjoying making the Runeterra content. Definitely my favorite card game right now.
Slow down, will you?
Slow down, will you? So this has Scout, which means it gets to attack twice, which means I probably want to trade with it in combat. I'm going to go ahead and put Ashe into play here.
Here we go. If it's a fight they want.
So we'll trade these off, and then I'm expecting them to attack with the 3/4 here. The War Chef's attack is interesting. Maybe they're a Piltover, so maybe they have a if they attack with this, they could have something like a Make It Rain in hand, perhaps. Bilgewater, yeah, that one. Great card, wrong faction. Good call.
Swiftly now.
So when Ashe attacks, she frostbites their strongest thing. 12 months, started leeching off my parents' Amazon Prime to get Twitch Prime. 12 months, I'm the only streamer I actually watch. Thanks for the entire year, Dead Knight. I appreciate it. Get your sword to go with that shield. Yeah, I agree, Boston. Like, the Magic card pool is misrepresentative of how deep it is in a lot of ways, because a lot of the cards that exist in Magic aren't playable. Like, even in well-balanced, even in what I would consider to be well-balanced standard formats, Magic's card pool is largely draft chaff. They might open on attacks here. So what do we want to do here? We're currently taking a lot.
No backing down.
So that's 8. I think I'm going to go ahead and back-to-back to eat their things here. This also lets Mage Seeker level up. It's a shame I can't save the back-to-back for Lux, but I think that's fine. Do I want to Frostbite something to gain 3 here? I feel like the answer is no. I can just go to 7. I don't know. I've never been a big fan of Magic's limited formats. The only limited I really enjoy for Magic is higher powered, like cube formats. Playing low power, individually weak cards isn't really my kink. Wow, that's brutal. The Judgeinator, thank you for the absurdly generous tier 3 resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And Outside MTG, thanks for the bits. Super punished. Huh. A rally spell should have been something on my radar. We're gonna get killed by a Make It Rain here and deserve it.
Everywhere I go, the light follows.
Will do, Judge. Yeah, I agree, Boston. I mean, Hearthstone, like, Magic's paper model for getting cards is super predatory, and Hearthstone copied it because it was profitable and predatory. And then, you know, Arena's like, oh, we can just do that too. Like, the Arena model felt really good. The Arena card acquisition model felt really good, like, coming from paper Magic, but, like, once you, like, compared to other things, especially compared to, like, Runeterra, it's really not consumer friendly. Okay, I've got,
Good guys, but not that good.
okay, so that's lethal, right? Which is a real shame. Yeah, I punted this game really badly. And this game was a really good example of the priority system in Runeterra and how it gives you a lot of room to leverage play skill and punish people for making mistakes. Nah, not at all. I think the rally spell is fine, and I deserve that loss. There was really no reason for me to play the Rhyme Wolf out like I did. I think punishing people for playing poorly is fine. The Demacia Misfortune deck generally always plays that card alongside Lucian. Like, definitely should have been a card on my radar, and I didn't play around and I was appropriately punished. I think if I play around that and don't play the Rhyme Wolf out there, we probably win that game and it's not particularly close. Hey, Double Edge, thanks for the 2/3 0. I'm gonna keep Lux here, I think. Mulligan the Harsh Winds, looking for something cheaper. Hey, thanks for the 12 months, Beansy. Thank you for the very generous tier 3. Let's get you started to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. I think it's just going to be a Remembrance on 3 game. So again, we can bank mana the first couple of turns if we don't use it, which is excellent, so you don't just fall behind and lose tempo. Let's us cast a 6 mana spell on turn 3. Notably, the banked mana can only be used for spells, so you'll note I can't cast Lux, but I can cast Remembrance here. Opponent probably playing Tempo Ender. It's gonna end the turn here. Like, I could get an attack in with this and force a block, but, like, killing the Omen Hawk's not particularly exciting. I'd rather just pass the turn so they can't open on attacks with these and things here.
A chill in the air.
What does TWE stand for? This might be a bad use of this, honestly. Behooder. Yeah, okay, that's what I said. This was a deck that was super popular for a little bit and then fell out of favor. Fell out of popularity when it got nerfed. Just gonna take the hit for 1 here. I don't think I want to crack this and make them a 4/3 just yet. Yeah, the Braum buff probably didn't do this deck any favors, so Braum getting nerfed back down to 0 power probably makes it a little bit more reasonable again. I definitely see that. I am not playing Magic today or tomorrow. I'm waiting to see what they do on Monday. If Wizards doesn't make any changes to their Magic formats, I am not playing Magic till rotation, which is in September for people that aren't familiar with that game. I'm gonna post a channel update on YouTube Monday night once we see what Wizards of the Coast decides to do after this weekend. Maybe they'll decide to give a shit. If Wizards of the Coast doesn't make any changes to Historic, Amonkhet Remastered won't have any meaningful impact on Historic. None of the cards in there will compete with the power level of the Reclamation deck. Actually just irrelevant. So I got a lot of choices here, as is often the case in a game of Runeterra. So... the same cards that are always problems. Dead Knight, Wilderness Reclamation, Free Time Raveler. Same stuff, different set. So I think we're hooking... this. And then pressing OK and seeing what they do. I could summon a Valor too to hook something else. That doesn't really matter. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna Blinding Assault to get a Valor, and then I can back-to-back pump my challengers, and then blast. That'll level Lux, which lets me blast Kalista here. And then these can hook two things. I think questions like that are stupid and pointless, HSCR. I think, if we fundamentally change the rules of Magic, would this be different? I don't know. Why does it, that's not going to happen, so it's like a stupid question to ask. Valor can attack twice. Oh, it totally can. I forgot this had Scout. That's a good point. Okay, so we start by this attack? Yeah, that's great. Good call. Thank you for that reminder. And now we'll hook this first, because combat resolves left to right. So I want to kill Neverglade Collector before Kalista dies. And actually, there's just so much depth in this game, it's unreal. I want to put Lux second, so that way if they chump block with this, Neverglade Collector is gone when this chump block happens, so I don't get drained from this either. This order levels Kalista. Yeah, it does. God, there's just so much. Alright, yeah. Okay, so this is it. Final offer. This prevents Kalista from leveling. There's just so much going on. I guess they could have another combat trick here. They have 3 mana. They could, if they have an elixir for Kalista here, I get pretty blown out. Yeah, there were just like so many permutations that turn could have gone through, and just like looking at the number of sequencing decisions inside of combat alone is just incredible. This game is just such an incredible breath of fresh air in terms of the gameplay it generates and allows.
Up there in the mountains.
Yep. So these, because of this, are a little bit scary. Because each of these deal a damage when they die because of this.
This is my choice. Lead the target.
I guess this is dealing 1 regardless. I'm going to 6 here. Are they dead? They're like pretty close to dead, right? Yeah, I can level Ashe.
The time is right. Strike now.
Am I just supposed to try and push lethal here? This is 1 so I just like frostbite this, attack. That's 6, 7, 8, 9. and then a Final Spark.
Arrow flies. My aim is true.
They can glimpse. If they glimpse, does that stop Final Spark? I assume the answer to that is yes. Or does Overwhelm work? I don't actually know how this works. Alright, sweet. And that was a good example of why I really like this as a control deck. You're like super interactive early with your challenger stuff and your frostbites, and then when you're ready to win the game, you pivot and kill them with Ashe very quickly. If a target for Final Spark dies, it works like a normal attack. It does the full overall damage. Okay, cool. That's how I would expect it to work intuitively. I wasn't sure. Howdy, Statics. Is there a way to skip level animations? No, I don't think you can turn off the video game part. So Johnny Gangplank, I think I want Lux in my opener here. I'm gonna mulligan the rest of these. Looking for like a remembrance. Maybe the Mage Seeker Persuader is just fine to keep as an early play. Hey, Duntix, thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, very possible I'm just supposed to keep the 2-drop as an early play. So as you can see, yeah, Black Market Merchant draws a card off our deck if they do damage to us. It's like Turbo Sajani here with Gangplank. These both level up on the same condition. Just kind of expecting them to open on attacks here. Yep. This is like pretty medium to put out against us here. It's like I can just challenger this next turn. I don't have good attacks with anything else though. This is gonna trigger their Sajani Gangplank, so they can actually play a level champion next turn if they wanted. They stole our Remembrance. That's brutal. Yeah. That's a good one.
Will you comply, or are you complicit?
Single combat and brittle steel / flash freeze combo well with Rhyme Wolf. The moose is loose, something like that. I think I'm gonna back to back here. It generates a detain as well, so I think I'm gonna go block. Make this a 6/6.
Top of the bounty board today.
Can compare. I trust my instincts.
So what if I put this here and then single combat these two? That would put me to 8. I think I like that. Downside here is this uses all my spell mana, so I can't play Lux with spell mana next turn, but I think that's fine. I actually did not save in. So just like in Magic, if I blocked this, if their thing doesn't have Overwhelm, it doesn't get to deal any damage to me, which is nice. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and Lux here.
The light follows.
And then next turn we can Harsh Winds to level Lux and get a Final Spark.
Get bloody, get paid.
This has a barrier, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and attack in here. If they have like a Make It Rain to like deal a damage to this, they could do a little bit, but I think this is mostly a free 4-ball. And then hopefully my opponent opens on attacks next turn, and they'll hook this, and I'll be able to Harsh Winds and other stuff, some of their other things. Hey, Nawthorn, thank you for the brand new Prime Support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Oglandia. Having a good one wherever you are. That is really good. I guess I get to Final Spark something before combat now. So I get to go ahead and Harsh Winds. I don't think I can beat a Fury here.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
I guess I could do this, and then Final Spark the Petty Officer.
My limit.
And then I still have Harsh or Brittle Steel here that can shoot something. So if they Fury this to save it, it'll have 2 health, and then I can Brittle Steel it. So they'll get to hook this because it's vulnerable with the Yearling, and then I'll get to Brittle Steel one of these 2 and take 2. Okay, so they're doing this to enable Plunder, I'd imagine. So they have like another black market merchant here. Okay. So I'm gonna take 3 inside of combat here.
Point, I shoot.
Oh, they can do this, and I'm gonna take more than that. Got it. I'm gonna take 5. Yikes. We're down to 2 here. They're not noxious, but they probably have like warning shots and sharks, and they have this elusive. I'm not playing Magic until Wizards adjust their formats. Taking a break. Can't do it.
Magic corrupts Demacia from within.
Your Demasia's nothing like what I know.
But tall as a mountain and covered in ice.
Okay, so they just drew a Sajani or a Gangplank.
I see all. You can't outrun justice.
AKA they won. Did they? I have a detain. I have a single combat. Why do you think we're done here? I guess I can technically hook like a 2/2 here, and then I can Final Spark to kill this one. Or I could single combat these 2 to finish it. Well, they drew Enraged Jetty. Okay. So, I think, so this has 1 out of 6 here, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and cast Detain, which generates a Final Spark. I mean, a lot of the builds, I kind of disagree with you there, Don't Joel Me. A lot of the builds of the Deep are pretty interactive.
Your king has returned.
Wait, I'm confused.
Forces of a
Where did this come from? Where did this come from? Because they drew... Yeah, what did they nab? Because they nabbed something, right? Oh, the babbling was my card. Duh. Okay, that's what happened. The babbling was mine. Got it. Okay, so I don't believe we're dead this turn. So I get to put this here. I get to go single combat here, here. I get to frostbite this, frostbite this, and then I believe I go to 1? Yeah. I mean, we're not in a great spot, but we're not dead this turn.
This place reeks of foul magic.
Rude. Keep up, keep up.
This probably just drew something that kills me. Yep.
You'll die.
That was a close game. Almost stabilized.
There's always a light in the darkness.
Almost stabilized. Is it really a warning shot if it kills me, chat? Can I get a flavor judge ruling on that one? If the warning shot kills me, is it truly a warning shot? I feel like I need some feedback on that one. US police warning shot. That's a little bit too real. That one. Oh, the United States. I think I'm keeping this. I'm mulligan the flash freeze. I think I keep the persuader as a cheap play here. That's good. Probably just a turn through remembrance now. We'll see what they play on 2 here. If they play an Elise on 2, I'm gonna go ahead and play the Persuader out. Okay, and this is again why I love the priority system here. Oh, it's a 3/4. God, that's good. Okay, well now we're just passing, so I can't trade here now because this got hit by Hawk. It's just like the best possible opener for them. Just like had Hawk on 1 and then drew the Elise on 2. Please be something good. Please be something good. Alright. It's pretty good. Like, if they attack with everything here, I like, get to eat the Elise, and then I get to attack into this next turn. Stupid bird. You're drawing the good champions. Oh, like, they had, like, a really good opener here, and I'm, like, in a pretty okay spot, right? Like, even if they have, like, a Vile Feast here, I get to go ahead and single combat these two. And if they don't have a Vile Feast or a way to finish this off, we get to just trade these in combat. We just, like, 2-for-1 them. We took a little bit of damage, but, like, outside of Atrocity, my opponent's deck doesn't have a ton of reach in it. And if we hold on to Flash Freeze, Atrocity's not even that good against us. Yep, there's the Vile Beast. So, again, love how interactive Runeterra is. Spells form stacks in the middle, similar to Magic, so you get to go ahead and have some back and forth here. These two fight. Yeah, like, and again here, like, this is, like, one of the big differences between Runeterra and a lot of other games is that, like, good call on the fizz emote, is that, like, my opponent had this incredible draw this game, but the game didn't just end, right? Like, I had counterplay, like, we had back and forth here, even though my opponent's opener was very, very good. It's pretty good. So we're gonna take a little bit more damage here. I'm gonna go ahead and throw Ashe out here, I think.
I think not.
So they're gonna sequence these. This gets bigger when something they control dies. Really? I don't know why they didn't attack with this last. Feels like a missed opportunity for them.
No backing down.
This is another Ashe. I'm actually gonna put Ashe in front of the spider here in case they want to, if they want to play like Fury of the North to trade here, I'm fine with that. I think this is a good Fury for me. Just a glimpse. Nah, I think eating the spider's fine. Oh, yeah, that's a good call as a terrain. Really small thing there, but I should kill my opponent's spider instead of the hawk there because Elise cares about the number of spiders. So... Actually, do I even care if they play anything? No, I think I should play Rhyme Wolf before I attack. Because if they play something else out here, we just, like, flash freeze it and then Challenger it out.
Show me a target.
Again, the eye knows all, so yeah, this just works. Yeah, they could be someone newer. I don't know, we're in Diamond, right? So, like, if you get to Diamond, you've probably been playing for a little bit.
Magic must be stopped.
Before it spreads.
Dead or near enough.
Winter take you. If they're out there, I'll spot them. Where you go, I go.
Can we just kill them next turn? I think there's a good chance we can.
Safeguard our homes. If it's a fight they want.
I think they're dead, right?
Quickly now.
So this levels my Ashe, then they can't block.
My aim is true.
And again, just that hard pivot when we're ready to move from controlling the game to ending the game.
A new
Yeah, our deck, this is the hardest pivot a control deck has had that I've played in Runeterra so far. When it's ready to turn, it turns on a dime. It's like, all right, we're going from Frostbite's keeping me alive to kill you. Yeah, the fact that Harsh Winds, the fact that all of your Frostbite spells are burst, lets Ashe's leveled mode kill people out of nowhere quite frequently. Hey, Toll, thanks for the 3rd of the year. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. These Persuaders with back-to-backs actually kind of incredible, and single combat's probably fine. Garbage time basically doesn't exist in this game, which is so refreshing. Modern magic designs lead to so much garbage time, it's unreal. What's garbage time? For people that aren't familiar with that terminology, garbage time refers to a point where you're playing a game, but one player has effectively won the game you're playing, but you're still taking game actions because the person who's basically at 100% to win can't actually close the game out. That is what garbage time is. Actually, you know what? I think this is wrong, and I'm supposed to play the Valor out here rather than this. Yeah, I think I should have played Valor and held on to this. Sometimes Karma Ezreal does that. Really, it's the closest thing to it, but it's not quite, it's not nearly the same as Magic, that's for sure. So this thing has Scout, so it can attack twice. So we get to go and attack with him, and then we get another attack token here. If I just end the round here, my opponent's deck, I guess it could be mid-rangey. I don't know, I kind of don't mind just banking spell mana here. If I play another unit out here, my opponent gets a chance to deploy meaningful blockers before I attack. If I attack again, my opponent could play out things that I can otherwise challenge. So there's this push and pull with the priority system. I think I'm gonna get in for 2. Again, babbling, always guaranteed to draw Ashe unless we've leveled Lux. Hey, Hushman, thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Why didn't they do that to start? Because they wanted to see if I would play out another thing they could kill with it. So they decided to use their life total as a bit of a resource there, basically. So, banking spell mana is actually very important with the deck that we're playing. Getting 3 banked early to make like your 6 mana spells castable later tends to be important. So, I think getting some spell mana banked here is nice.
I will unite the Freljord.
I think we just do this in response here. Little unfortunate that I'm 1 mana short of back-to-backing here. Perhaps I should have waited for a turn.
The tribes.
Leaping into action.
No, not really into random other game modes. The constructed format in Runeterra is more than interesting enough that it holds my attention. I don't feel like I need to explore other things. That if that changes, I might explore other things, but for now, it feels good.
Nothing to worry about if you have nothing to hide.
I eat this. I don't need trouble coming at ya.
So this creates a detain once we've cast a 6+ cost spell. So this lets us. I assume we'll trade here because Vi gets bigger when they play a card, so I assume they're going to play a card, then these will trade, but that's still a decent exchange for me, I think. We have a detain for later now. Wow! Okay, they have like a deal one here. What's the play? I find it really hard to believe they just don't have any fast spells in their hand. I guess it's possible they're on 5 units. Hey, Bardic, thanks for the 38 months. Really appreciate it. Mystic Shot. Okay, that makes sense. That doesn't make sense, though, actually, right? Because they should have just, like, pointed that at my face. They, like, missed 2 points of damage. I guess they could have been playing around me having a trick there of some sort. It's an open on Remembrance here, just because if they play a blocker, I can H-Spale Archer or single combat it to attack through. progress state, yep. It's a relatively big hit, and this creates a random elite when it dies, which is nice. That's annoying. I'm gonna go ahead and archer this, and just get in a hit for 6 here. Maybe they'll chump block. Yeah, opponent's playing Vi Swain, which is interesting. Great. And they chump block there. They want to keep their health total high. They want to play around a Frostbite. But Vi has 4 health, right? So the 1 mana Frostbite doesn't do anything. That is a stellar pickup. Yep, Babbling always draws Ashe except when Lux is leveled. Lux's leveled mode has firepower, so Babbling always draws us a champion in this deck.
Let's brighten up their day.
It's about to get double spelled here. It's gonna feel real bad. This only Frostbite's enemies. That's such a feel bad. Oh! That's hilarious. Okay. And they knew about this, right? Yeah, that's a good line. So Detain is not enemy only. Sick.
For conquest, for empire.
It's a little aggressive, but I think it's right. So anyways, I started blasted.
No more holding back.
We're going under.
Killing the boat's pretty important. Is that a good draw?
Empire above all. Fear the power, do not stop.
Who approaches?
That draw makes up for the 1/4 guy, yeah, right?
Witness strength.
Shine with me.
Merely pawn in a greater game.
We have, they probably have the Ravens thing here that lets them deal 4 to a damage thing. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We're killing their Swain. We're a little bit behind. They're up on cards, but we're up on life. This is actually a good draw, depending on how many blockers they have. Wow, that probably means they're dead, right? Yeah, Scout would be the best one. Wow, that one's absurd. That's super frustrating. Stupid house spider. It's really good. Needed them to not have 2 blockers there. Good beats. I guess they didn't draw that off the progress day, huh? They spent 2 on that, and the progress day cards are reduced by 1. They didn't. They had that rolled up already. Well, we'll see what they do here. Another threat's decent. We're gonna be opening on attacks next turn. It's another 3 power threat at that. Yeah, their hand is really full here.
Their time has come.
They have another direct damage. Okay, yep. So this lets them get in with Swain because this is stunned here. Probably dead. We are gonna get a random elite when this dies, but
Not on my watch.
it's not a good scene for here. This has fearsome, so my 1/4 can't block it. Hopefully we get a better elite than this one. Ugh. Alright. The Realm of Glass half full. Yeah, that darn house spider. In turn, we had them almost down. The progress days have just buried us. Both of our decks are kind of mid-rangey a little bit.
Will you comply, or are you complicit?
Really close game. Yeah, they were the bigger fish. We almost got through the first 2 progress days. Third one definitely gonna put it away. We were playing from behind that whole time there. Needed a way to pop up and punk them out, and the spider just gave them enough board presence to not let us get through. Wish there was a best of 3 option this game. I don't really have strong feelings on that. I feel like games, I think for a tournament setting, I would like a best of 3 or multi-deck mode, but I think for laddering, honestly, if there is a best of 3 option, I'd rather play best of 1. I think when your game doesn't have non-game resource variants like Magic, whether or not your game has best of 3 isn't super relevant. Vi Ezreal, probably not too aggressive. We're gonna line up a turn 3 Remembrance here, I think. Best of 3 is like pretty inconvenient from a time perspective. And the only reason I'm so adamant about liking best of 3 in Magic is because there's so many games of Magic where one player just does nothing and dies. Yeah, 2%. I'm just explaining my opinion to you. You are allowed to disagree on this very subjective matter. In my subjective opinion, I don't feel a strong need for there to be best of 3 in this game.
I will unite the Freljord.
Yeah, spell mana is a really elegant way to remove curve variants from the game, which is nice. Let's see if they have like a get excited here. They are Piltover. Ashe could die here.
Took the bait.
Avarosans, stand together.
Maybe I'm supposed to hook the 2-1 here, so this way they can't deal damage to the Ashe. That could be right. Oh, the upside to doing what I did there was if they had a Fury. Fury is not great, leaving them the 0-3. Like, they put the 0-3 in front of Ashe and then Fury it. Doing well, Red Link. Playing some Runeterra. This game's great. I get to bank some spell mana next turn, which is nice. I have a bunch of Luxes, which means that... I have a bunch of Luxes, which means these other two are going to turn into barriers here in a second, which is nice. I'm just going to go ahead and trade this off. Sure. I mean, so I think what you did there was a false extreme. You're assuming that if what you just said there, Don't Joel Me, is you're making the assumption that if this game added sideboards like Magic, they would also automatically add bad card designs. Like cards like Leyline of the Void and Rest in Peace and Stony Silence, those aren't dependent on... Like, those aren't dependent on, do I want a barrier here? I could just do this and frostbite it. That's probably better. Like, so I agree that I agree that hoser designs are bad and should be avoided. I disagree that putting sideboards into your game means you have to include bad hoser designs. That I reject. I think that's some nonsense.
I've been hiding my life too long.
Yeah, Fisherman, this game basically, and like Riot as a company, have basically just done everything I've wished Wizards of the Coast would do essentially forever. Like, all of the good decisions I've always wanted WotC to make, Riot has made with this game. Thanks for the 12 butts, Yak. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. So, do I Prismatic Barrier here? Because if I Prismatic Barrier, they could just have a burn spell and trade them off. I guess that's fine, though. Is it? Because, like, these are both Luxes, right? So, like, do I just, like, let this happen? And then... I think I just let it happen, bank 3 spell mana, and then, like, cast a Lux next turn. I guess my open on attacks is really good if this works.
Try Demacian magic.
It worked out. Yeah, we take those. We lose our final spark there, but that's not too big of a deal. I'm gonna play Ashe out, right? I guess I don't want to play her out. Yeah, I'm just gonna put on Dex.
And all things bright.
Mr. Wilson, thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, I mean, like, there's been so many cookie cutter... So the problem with playing Ashe out there, chat, is if I play Ashe out, they could, like, kill her. Like, they're Piltover, right? So they could, like, have a Get Excited there. That would be really bad for me playing Ashe out.
This place reeks of foul magic.
So, like, with the barrier in my hand, I think I'm just supposed to wait to play the Ashe. Yeah, sorry, to focus, there's been so many, like, medium quality other card games out there that it's definitely easy to, like, I've been hurt before and, like, they're worse than Magic, but, like, they really hit a fantastic mix of special something with Runeterra. Like, it has all the parts of Magic that I enjoy with none of the nonsense. Is just the best way to put it. They are so far off of leveled Ezreal.
All the world on one arrow.
Oh yeah, no question, Yak. The cosmetics, like, this is the most visually stunning digital card game I've ever played. Not close. Not close. So I'm gonna assume a Mystic Shot's coming here.
I won't stand by.
I could have also flash freeze this to level her. So I had a couple of choices there. I think I'm just gonna let this happen. So they're out of mana at this point. So I think we just like, okay, let Ashe die because this is another Ashe, and then I like play Mage Seeker out, final spark this, open on attacks and kill them.
No more holding back. Into battle with hearts aglow.
Hearts aglow. She's blasting, chat. She's blasting. Okay, Harsh Winds is the punish for opening on attacks. That's not too big of a punish. They play out a unit here, I Remembrance, and then get to blast it. So, like,
Trap is set.
does Legend of Runeterra have an attack with everything hotkey? So, it does, but you frequently don't want to use the attack with everything hotkey because this game has so much, well, that kills them. This game had, the ordering of your attackers matters so much in Runeterra that you generally don't just want to put them out. If you look when I attack, and I'll highlight this next game, Toolboxer, if you click on one of your units and then drag around, you kind of scoop them up in the order you scoop them, which makes it very easy to quickly attack with things in the order you want to attack with them. The big question for me as a content creator and someone who's made my name in Magic is that, like, if Wizards decides they're only gonna ban Reclamation on Monday, like, do I still do some Magic and, like, slog through some Teferi still, or do I still just take off until rotation? I honestly kind of feel like if they're not getting rid of Teferi, I probably just want to take off till rotation happens. Is really have no desire to play against that card. They didn't, Fearburger, but if they don't make an announcement on Monday, I'm definitely not playing Magic until rotation, so... I need to be aggressive in the deep matchup. Cutting through some of their stuff is also useful, though. Yeah, rotation's gonna change a lot. Those cards are fundamentally different than the issues I have with things like Teferi Save-In. Teferi fundamentally removes the parts of Magic that I enjoy. It's very, very different than the cards you just listed. Very, very different.
Nothing to worry about if you have nothing to hide. Put an end to magic.
If I'm being completely honest, part of me hopes that they're going to continue to leave their stuff a dumpster fire, because I'd kind of like to find out if I can still do this as a job without doing Magic stuff. Like, do I have enough just generic support, or will my sub count drop to a point where I can't justify doing this as a job if I'm doing something that's not Magic? All right, so we get to Ice Veil Archer here on this, which gets rid of its power. And then Rhyme Fang Wolf gets to challenge this and kill it, which is nice.
Vessel small, but she ain't lacking courage.
So I don't really want to trade my 3-1 for... I don't really want to trade my 3-1 for their 1-1. And this is going away at end of turn, so I basically just don't have good attacks here. I think I'm just starting attacking with just this, and we'll see where we go. So now I can single combat this in response. This makes them strike each other, so this will kill the Maokai. And again, if you're uncertain of an interaction like this ever in Runeterra, the client is excellent software. You can mouse over the I to confirm before you make the play. The Runeterra community's been good so far, Kevin. Mogwai's given me a big host / boost a couple of times, which I really appreciate. Probably gonna babbling here. Our Ashe is at 1 of 5.
It'll stare back.
That's only a 3/3. We're probably...
Will no one listen?
We're probably single combating that, right? There's nothing for 1 mana that blows me out here, right? I don't really need this 3-1 anyway, so like I could Brittle Steel this, but I don't think that's necessary. I think I just do this. Vile Feast costs 2. Maybe Time Lord. Tournaments don't really make for great content. I wouldn't mind doing them on occasion, but like probably not something super regular. Tournaments tend to have a lot of downtime in them, which isn't great for making stuff. We're just playing Ashe here.
My arrow? I think not.
They have another Draining Grasp. We're going to be in trouble. A lot of times the deep plays 3 of that card, so could be right to just open on attacks here.
Swiftly now.
Bad, you bad! Oh, Dredge Dredgers. Oh, Dredge Dredges. Opponent is getting close to the deep. So they printed, if you're familiar with how Magic works, this card is basically the bot's set to Runeterra mode. Look up the card Teferi Time Raveler. The bot's good software. It changes based on what game we're playing. So they're in the deep, so their monsters are bigger now. Ashe is getting ready to level, though. So remembrance into some stuff here could be okay for us.
These are our lands. The time is right. Strike now.
Again, just looking to fade that deal 3. Oh, I guess we also need to fade... We also need to fade the Obliterate Fish at this point. That's really good for us. Okay, so... We can kill them next turn, right? Almost? Not quite? No, because Ashe is going to level, so we have exact C's. So this is a burst spell. So we go... Frostbite that, Ashe levels, Ashe attacks, Frostbite's their other thing, we're attacking for exactly 17. I could also get the Scout attack in with the Moose. So I could flash freeze this attack with the Scout, because then if they play a blocker post-combat, this will do that. I think I'm supposed to do that, actually. So let's Frostbite this as well. Now these can't block. We attack with the Moose Scout, which gives us, if you only attack with Scouts, everything gets to attack again. So this puts them to 12, which gives us some room for overkill here. Ruination is the punish, so we're dead. I think we're dead. Okay, so didn't play around that. I don't know if I'm supposed to play around that. Oh, I have another Ashe. Maybe not dead. Oh, I can save a minion with Detain. I forgot about that. Good call. I need to remember that that's a thing. Need to remember the Detain trick. That could definitely cost us. I could still have a Moose in play right now. If I had Moose plus Ashe, we'd be good to go probably.
Stand together.
Yeah, I think it's right to not play around Ruination there. Yeah, Ruination isn't super common in the deep decks, and if they do play it, it's usually just a one-of. So I think my play was right. I know we got punished for my play, but I think my play was correct with the information that we had. Yeah, not playing the Detain was a mistake. Agree with that. Agree with that. This puts them to 6. That's so brutal. Some of the more recent deep lists are playing the full set. Okay, that's good to know. So maybe in the future we'll prioritize playing around Ruination a little bit more. Maokai is leveled. Really need a threat here.
These are our lands.
I'm doing well, Stigall. Alright, I mean, we technically have lethal. With the harsh winds and an attack. I can actually, with the harsh winds and the flash freeze, even if they deploy another unit here, if they don't have a piece of removal.
Swiftly now.
They have the third Vile Feast. They have a Warping Whale. And they have Ruination and Whale. Man, that's brutal.
Continue without me.
Just so close. Yeah, so there's a good chance, even if we played around the Ruination earlier with the open attacks, you're just gonna get whaled and die. They've drawn a couple cards between now and then too, but definitely had a lot of different things there. Yeah, looks like we're dead. Detain costs 5.
The sun is shining. We should too.
I think this matchup's hard for us. Almost got past the Ruination turn. Did not quite get there. Need to feed the whale on the attack after. If I hit the detain play, maybe it works out. If I see the line to detain my moose, I think we win that. The fact that I missed that was definitely a big deal. Swain, Yasuo. I'm gonna mulligan the Brittle Steel, I think. I'm gonna keep Mage Seeker in single combat in order to have ways to kill Yasuo. And we'll Remembrance on 3 with this hand.
Think you're fast? Cute. Try to keep up.
I guess I could get denied here. Am I supposed to play around deny with this? Might be right to play around deny. Quick attack only works when attacking. Got it.
Underestimate. I dare you.
Sure. So I spent 2 cards to kill the thing that gave me another card.
Denounce magic.
Here's our chance.
Kind of surprised I didn't have another deal for there. I think I am playing out Mage Seeker and then attacking here. We'll hook this.
Glory, courage, excuses. This is righteous. You have no alibi.
They want to block with Swain here. I can single combat to trade these. So this works out okay. These three all go away.
History will judge you.
So I'm making one spell mana here. Probably good to play Lux out because she has a barrier. I'm gonna go ahead and block here so they don't get an Extra Strike on me. Dealing some damage to this means Lux's final spark can finish this off. Can also finish with a single combat. Sure. You know, that feels a lot less bad when it happens at 5 mana. Funny how that works. Because, like, my opponent didn't really gain as much tempo on that play, right?
Don't let the fluffy tails fool you.
A beacon in battle.
We're in a single combat here to utilize the barrier. They have another will I get blown out. Spirit Refuge, sure.
I will break them. Prepare the cargo! There is no excess when victory is at stake.
Well, we were going to detain the boat and then blast the Swain. And maybe they saw that, or they just had something come up and they had to go. Either or. We're almost at the card sleeve, chat. Almost at the card sleeve. Ezreal, Twisted Fate. Probably want to dig for, like, some removal here. I'm going to keep Lux, because she's removal in the long term. Remembrance on 3 sounds great. Yeah, I agree. 400 or 500 people is fine. And I talked about the finances / logistic of my job on stream before, but, like, at the end of the day, like... At the end of the day, viewer count isn't really the end-all, be-all, it's sub count. So, like, for example, doing Magic content full-time, I've floated around 2,500 concurrent subscribers. And I think need about 1,200 concurrent subscribers to have this be worth doing as a full-time job. So, I have a comfortable amount that I could even bleed off and still do this as a living.
Treasures of the ages.
Very fortunate in that aspect. Do I just Valor here? I could Blinding Assault, and then next turn I could Ice Veil Archer, and then attack in. So, without an in-client tournament mode, or a website like MTG Melee, the logistics of running a tournament for Runeterra are just kind of too difficult. If that makes sense, like, there was a reason why I never ran arena sub-tournaments until Melee existed. Thanks for the 1.5 years, Moldilocks. I appreciate it. And this is a scout, so I get to attack again here. If you haven't given Runeterra a try, I'd highly recommend it, Moldy. Runeterra reminded me why I like card games. It's super, super refreshing after Magic recently. The other tournament organizers use Smash. Yeah, I've played in Magic tournaments run using Smash, and it's a dumpster fire disaster. It's slow and it's clunky, and getting people coordinated with giving them deck lists is not great. Like having a tool that's designed explicitly for card games is a big deal. Calling tournaments on Smash a dumpster fire might even be being generous, if I'm being honest.
I'm always up for a round or two.
Yeah, Smash was designed for fighting games, that is correct. It was not designed to play card games on, or run card game tournaments on. So now here's a question. Do I want my discount remembrance here, or do I want to save it for post-Lux? The fact that I had something die this turn means I could hit the one that gains lifesteal and tough. I organize Smash tournaments on that site, and you're mostly correct. Even for our own game, it isn't great. Yep. Now, notable, because I got the discount there, that did not count as a 6-mana spell for my Mage Seekers. So there's a little bit of a downside in that respect to playing out my Remembrance there as well.
Say your farewells.
Yeah, one of the big things MTG Melee does is deck validation and providing deck lists.
Yeah, you don't want to fight.
Notably, MTG Melee definitely doesn't support the ability to run like multi-deck tournaments,
Can't hide from me.
which is a format that a lot of Runeterra tournaments run. Also, like, it's like not easy to put on a tournament. It's like a lot of extra work compared to like just firing up and playing deck lists for the day. So like my Runeterra content isn't really popular enough at the moment to like justify putting in that incredible amount of extra work at the moment. I'm also hopeful that Riot will get a spectator mode into their client sometime soon, which would also make hosting things like that easier. Like, the logistics of running things via Discord for feature matches also kind of sucks to do coverage. The barrier on Lux is so great, it's basically a fog. They could potentially, like, make it rain or deal a damage to her to attack in, but it means they have to utilize some resources that way before they have good attacks for the turn, which is nice. How's this deck do against Ashe Johnny? I don't think we've played against Ashe Johnny today.
Store the rations, shackle the prisoners. Double pay for the next kill.
Yeah, I think the multi-deck format's great.
Never back down from what you believe.
You look guilty.
I don't have a 6-mana spell in sight, so I think I'm just going to trade all these off.
I will unite the Freljord.
Success gets you noticed around here.
Show me a target.
So all of their things only have 2 attack here. Maybe I'm supposed to play Mage Seeker Investigator out here to attack as well. I have one of these is an Ashe, so like if this dies, it's like not too big of a deal. Opponent's running low-ish on resources here. So Ashe is vulnerable, so I can attack in and force a trade.
Ancient things trapped in the ice.
I'm about to get sharked.
Resurrect.
pretty good, chat. Actually not in too terrible of a spot. We get to, oh, that levels their Ezreal. Right. It's real good. So we get to Ice Veil Archer. Tag that. They can attack us for 2. We'll trade with one of their things. And then, like, on offense, Ashe locks this down, which is nice.
All the world on one arrow.
Yeah, Shark leveling Ezreal is very good for sure. Yeah, I agree with that, TDM. The economy of Runeterra makes it easier to, it's easier to justify multi-deck formats.
Magic has no place here.
Pick a card's really good, so I get to draw 3 cards. Always find my decks via the widget. You can also find them on my Mobalytics page here.
The time is right. Strike now. Swiftly now.
So this levels Ashe.
I'll lead us to victory.
Yeah, that's definitely been, and that actually goes back to, again, a decision point. If you remember back this game, I elected to, early on in this game, I elected to play a Remembrance as a discounted 4-mana spell instead of a 6-drop, and that's made my Lux worse, it's made Mage Seeker rough. Like, there was a lot that changed because of that decision.
I don't miss.
They know about the Crystal Arrow, right? Yes, they should definitely be opening attacks here.
The time is right. Strike now.
This has to deal damage to strike, so if it's 0, it doesn't strike technically.
Safety will cost you.
The real question is, do they have another Riptide next turn? They've seen a lot of cards. There's a good chance they have a Riptide next turn, because I can't open attacks. I need to Crystal Arrow. If I Crystal Arrow and then they Shark, I guess I have another Ashe in my hand, so maybe I'm still fine. The second Ashe might make that not a big deal.
Let fly.
This is another Ashe. So, like, even if they Shark me and clear my board, this Ashe is lethal, right? Because they're at 6. Because she'll attack and Frostbite their other Shark. Am I being baited? I feel like I'm being baited. Am I supposed to commit something else to the board here? Do I, like, play Lux? If I play Lux, I can still play the other Ashe out, right? I think I'm supposed to play the Lux, right? I think I'm more likely to win playing the Lux. Because we have plenty of mana. So, like, if they go Warning Shot, Shark us, they, like, blast our stuff down, and then I play Ashe and kill them, and, like, they've used most of their mana that way. Could they have stolen a Harsh Winds? That's a good thought. They could have stolen a Harsh Winds, yeah. Okay, so now this is a real punish. If they have a we could just die here.
I will unite the Freljord.
We could just die to the Ezreal. There's our Harsh Winds. Yeah, it's brutal. So if I open on attacks there, I lose to my Harsh Winds regardless, right? So I think I'm happy with my play. This Yodel Grifter nabbed Harsh Winds. I don't think I had any sequencing decisions there that could have gone differently. Needed to draw Harsh Winds of my own there. They had the Shark too. Okay. Let's try and play one more. Try and end on a high note. That was a tough. We were backed into a corner. I feel like we did a good job talking through the things we could play around. I think I'm happy with my play. Regardless of what we did, I think we played around Shark well. I didn't have any sequences there that could beat removal into Harsh Winds. I think my sequences played around Shark, and that was the best I could do. Wanted to give myself the best chance to beat like Shark and or spot removal. And we beat Shark and spot removal, we just didn't beat spot removal and or Harsh Winds. It's probably fine. Tell your magic. I don't really know what you want me to do other than streaming literally every day. I'm confused as to what more you think should be done. I guess past streaming it every day, I also tweet a lot too, so there's that as well. This Brittle Steel here is gonna be real good if they attack. There's Spear in their dojo chat. They're scared. They're scared, and they should be. So the power of the pass here. I passed them without playing Rhyme Fang Wolf. They played an 0-3. I get to eat their 0-3 now. Should have attacked with this. So these all trade. Technically a 2-for-1 in the Rhyme Fang there at least.
All the world on one arrow.
What's that noise?
Weak-willed fool.
So we play Ashe here.
From the darkness.
Oh. Huh. I kind of wasn't expecting them to attack with this.
Lead the target.
You guys want to keep my Ashe healthy? Maybe this is wrong, because now I can't play Remembrance next turn, but like... Oh, I should have killed the spider too, right? Bad blocks there. Left them with an extra 1-1 for the time being. It's also possible I should have just let Ashe go to 1 toughness because I had the follow-up Ashe. If I would have let Ashe go to 1 toughness, I could have played Remembrance, which would have let me make the Mage Seeker bigger this turn. I have not seen the Thresh Ashe deck.
I know what lurks in the shadows.
Third Elise is the charm, eh? I go ahead and Valor here. And then we can Ice Veil Archer this and attack with our scouts and hook it.
Now begins a new era of peace.
New era of peace. So I feel like my one big thought on this deck is I wonder if I have slightly too many frostbites and not enough threats. Like maybe this many flash freezes is too many. Blinding Assault's been pretty reasonable. It's especially good paired with all of our frostbite stuff, because you can generate 2 attacks with it consistently when you, like, frostbite something, attack, hook it down, and then attack, hook something else down, or, like, then attack into a clear board. So I think this card's better with that. Radiant Guardian could be okay. I don't know. I kind of feel like we had Radiant Guardian in here last time we played, and I swapped them for Rhymefang Wolf, and I kind of like that. The consistency of letting Babbling always draw a champion is a big deal. So skipping Radiant not only drags our curve down a little bit, because, like, we have a lot of 6s. We had a lot of 6s with these, but I feel like having the consistency of knowing what this is going to do is a big deal. Like, even once you level this, you're still guaranteed to get a champion. Honestly, talking about, like, curve considerations, I could see playing a 3rd Blinding Assault over the 3rd Flash Freeze could potentially be okay. I could also see some of, like, the 3-drop Challenger things being good. Like, what's it? Laurent Protégé is, like, a pretty reasonable card. Yeah, I think especially with the Noxious nerf a little bit, like, having consistent lifelinks not as necessary in this archetype. And if we felt like we wanted it, we could even play something like oh, the Lifesteal Barrier card is not. That's a different faction, isn't it? Yeah, we have the +3 attack barrier. At any rate, if you're looking for kind of a neat control deck that pivots into beating people down once it's locked up the early game very quickly, this is definitely one of my favorites. If you're looking for the deck code, you can find it on my Mobalytics page here. I'm going to go ahead and hit a quick ad roll while I get things set up and tweet it over for my next deck. When we get back, it's funny, we talked about Crimsons being less popular. We're going to play some Crimsons up next. We're going to try some Crimson Disciples and Aristocrats and some other things here with a Lucian Rally shell with Katarina. So be back in just a few. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere.